Finance Minister was in Parliament yesterday, and to you, what did it mean? What did it represent?
If I had concluded on this one, so that the Finance Minister will probably start.
No, he's not. He used to be a Deputy Finance Minister. Now he's
he was in Parliament.
I know he still has an interest there, but yeah. he will speak on it. What did you make of it?
Just 1 minute, let me conclude on it. You see, this is what you mean. No. I know. Right. I know, Honourable. He said something very good. I mean, one just. You use an expression, one apple can spawn the whole thing. Yes, indeed. He's a nice person. But you see, this is a major fraudulent cabal. I will not mince words by saying it. Earlier on,
but that's your opinion.
No, earlier on, people postulated that even the Attorney General is involved in some sort
of. Again, those are postulations.
Conflict of interest.
You're still doing public trial or media trial.
No, I'm coming. No, it is. I mean, the judgment is out. We can.
You're an advocate of rule of law, aren't you?
Yes, of course, and we can interrogate it. And you see, my point is that when the Attorney General's private chamber was involved in this whole Wyoming thing. You remember Austro Invest? I mean, they defended Austro Invest. It was not perceived. It is true. He went to court.
Please conclude on it, Anabwachi. So the Finance Minister was in Parliament.
So the whole issue, and I'm amazed why the President in Parliament last 2 weeks said that he's fighting corruption and some of these cases are in court. But if your Attorney General is defending this case in this shabby manner,
Anabwachi,
in this irresponsible manner, I'm sad, my brother. I am very sad.
I do understand. My sympathies go to your sadness.
No, you also have to be sad as a Ghanaian. Our monies. And just this
I'm supposed to be a general. I'm supposed to be objective and neutral.
Look at what the easy.
I'm supposed to be neutral.
We're also losing close to 317 million Ghana cedis, and then the man is requesting 90 million more this whole week from Tuesday to Thursday. Look at it. It's amazing. But yes, finance. For me, I was not surprised because immediately the budget was read. We followed sequence of events, and you realize that some of the projections. I remember Dr. Akuto say, I heard him, he even briefed me when he said some of the projections are not really right, especially if you want to plan and then in the wake of this, fall in oil prices. We are now an oil producing country, and then again to this energy issue. So if you don't factor all these things, especially when it is affecting manufacturing and then the industry service very well, certainly all the projections they made were bound to face difficulties, right? They said that. So for us and for me, I was not really surprised that what they termed that. At the point, we thought it was a review budget, but I am told that yesterday was even a statement made in Parliament because the minority objected that procedurally it was wrong for them to have come in that manner. So it became a statement, and once a statement is made, it becomes very difficult for them to debate on it. That is the little education I've received from Parliament. So on this review, for me, I'm not surprised by historically bad. You know why I'm saying this? Is because if a nation, if you can't even plan for a year, and just 3 months, you presented the budget November, December, January, February, March, you are bringing a review or what could be termed as an amendment of the budget. I think it's bad. You need to plan. This is not a small enterprise. This is not Roland's enterprise sitting somewhere. Where you can change things. It's a nation. It's a whole thing. It's a big thing. So you should be able to factor in all these things. You need to forecast. Because especially now, it's a global world. So we are linked up with international trade, with, all these things going on. So you just need to project and forecast.
But you do understand at the time that we hadn't gone to the IMF, or we were still in discussion.
This IMF issue is also another thing altogether.
Okay.
because another argument.
I only asked you about your observation for. We'll come to.
No, but it's important.
No, watch it. I know. Now, Kweku, I can call you Kweku, right?
Oh yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now, as far as we're concerned, we know that the Finance Minister would have again appeared before Parliament to take a relook at the budget, because this actually had been speculated by the former Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. Akuto, unless perhaps I'm wrong, according to the media reports. And he had been concerned that looking at the discussions ongoing with government and perhaps the way our variables were performing, the indicators were not good. And so government needed to do a lot more stringent budgeting than it had done. You just don't listen as a government, do you?
that is not correct. I don't want to go, to the genesis of this whole thing, because a lot has been said, at least in the last 2 years, about the state of the economy, the challenges that we've had, as a result of a drop in cocoa and gold prices. We're still pretty much a commodity-based economy, and then an economy that basically lives on commodities. You are bound to be shaken by external shocks that sometimes you really have no control of. The issue yesterday, or the statement, and it is a statement, and there's a precedence for this, in the 1990s at 99, 2002, 2007 by Victor Solomon, followed by Safamafo, and Bawiridu, have all gone to Parliament and do this kind of thing. But yesterday's was as a result of basically the significant drop that we have experienced in the crude or the petroleum. I call it crude, not petroleum. In the crude oil prices
internationally.
Internationally,
and so
yes.
That has also influenced.
Yes, absolutely. But what my brother is saying about forecasting and all that, did happen. Developing countries as well as developed countries sometimes do get it wrong, even though they have done the forecasting and all that. I mean, you can take a view as to what oil prices are going to be. And then if that doesn't happen, yes, you have done your forecast, all right. But then you have...
Okay, let me ask you the first budget. What we presented in November.
Yeah.
What was so the calculations we did, we pegged the oil prices at what? $80?
Yeah, no, we pegged the oil prices at 99. There is this benchmark when you go to the PRMA. There is a calculation that you use, basically, what you think the price is going to be, and then you put it into this.
So our projection was based on $99.
Yes,
and then we went. The world has gone low as 45.
Yes, that's
and now
right.
rising.
Yeah, it's rising. So basically, a lot of things happened, and I would say, and I think I would be the first to admit that we obviously got that assumption in the budget wrong. And it's also
anyway, I think you could have benefit of hindsight, or you could have had benefit of hindsight because you didn't know that it will fall as low as 40, 45.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That it was not a case that the projection.
How are they affected as far as our earnings are concerned?
Well, basically, as a result of that assumption, the revenue that we anticipated, we are not going to get it, and we'll be short by 2.7 billion. So obviously, it became necessary for the finance minister to come to Parliament.
And that means what?
Yes,
we have to...
Well, that means that we have to find the money, or we have to make some, changes to expenditure. And that is what the finance minister...
Trim the expenditure.
Trim the expenditure.
Reduce expenditure.
Yes, but I mean...
Reduce our spending.
What the finance minister came up with yesterday is not as bad as I anticipated, because, I was expecting, I mean, if you are short by 2.7 billion, you need to be able to find the money somewhere. Luckily, we have things like the stabilization fund and all that you can draw down in times like this. So I think that he's done a very fine balancing act to really come up with how we are going to. But there will be some cuts. And also, I think what will happen is that the deficit, as we thought it's going to be around 6.5 or something, may have to inch up to about 7, because there are certain expenditure items that we cannot trim.
The deficit will have to go to
7 points. It will have to
be hovering
about 7.5.
7 and the rest.
Yes, let's say it will go about 7.
We'll go about 7.
Yeah, probably 7.5.
That's a what estimate? A marginal estimate, or how do you call that one? But as far as we're concerned, for you, looking at the deficit we've had, close of 2012 reported in 2013, percentages inching up over 12. By last year, we're told 9. We had a projection of 6.5 for the year. And now we have to perhaps even take a relook at that and project it upwards 7. It means, going by government's own precedent of spending and having overruns, we may not even be disciplined enough despite IMF. Are you worried about it?
I'm very worried, but quickly, you see, if the world price for crude, if it drops and it can affect our budget that much, then it means we have been affected by the Dutch disease. And that is worrying. And I hope you know what the Dutch disease is. Yes. It means we are concentrating solely on the oil sector.
Meaning what?
To the detriment of other sectors.
That we're not investing in other sectors?
Exactly.
But according to...
Because it means according
to the variables we've had over the last, I think, year or two, it's an improvement over the last 3 years as far as agriculture and heavy manufacturing is concerned. Because 3 years ago, the service sector, I believe, recorded marginally better appreciation in performance than agriculture as well as the other sectors. And that had been a concern for you, especially the minority and your party.
That is a problem.
Well.
If agriculture is declining, if industry declining, manufacturing sector going down, and then per the Honorable's
is it
analysis.
Declining, or the phrase we have to use is not performing well?
No, per the Honorable's analysis. If the shocks in world crude prices could necessitate a review of our budget, then we need to be careful as a nation. Don't forget in 2011, we were growing where it was being touted all over that this is the fastest growing economy plus oil. Now it is projected that we are going to grow this year by 3.9 in the budget. So that is worrying. And is it, Honorable, I beg you, is it this attempt to force down our throat that we are in challenges? I refuse to accept we are in crisis. We are in crisis, my brother, I'm telling you. Now, we have been forced to go to IMF. Initially, they said they are going for...
You're replacing the challenges with crisis?
Crisis! It is much... Challenge, you see, Ronald, you may have a slight headache. You just enter into a chemist shop and then you get a paracetamol, it's gone. But then when you have cancer, can you cure the paracetamol? You can't. So cancer means you are in crisis.
You mean it's chronic?
It's not chronic. It is crisis. It is.
You're in crisis.
Yes, chronic disease. Yes, of course. Yes.
When it's consistent.
So it goes and
comes.
You know what I'm saying is, if the economy was growing in 2008 by 8.7%, 8.4%, and steadily we had an appreciable growth as well up to 2011, and now it is declining, and now we are projected to grow. And in fact, even the growth rate, as postulated in the budget, was even wrong. Per the figures, it was even wrong. Now they have had to review it. Yeah, the growth rate, yes. I remember
to say that is wrong. I mean, things can be revised, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong.
No, because you see, immediately you presented the budget, Honorable. It was 6.6 or so, and then immediately after, 2 days after, Koko Party wrote to the Ministry of Finance and did all the calculation. It was supposed to be 4.4, and now you have accepted it that it was 4.4. And we are projected to grow this year by 3.9. You see, so my problem is that, you see, Honorable, my problem is that, for me, I think where we are now, it's massive mismanagement and corruption.
Absolutely.
Sometimes
I think that's a simplistic view.
It is not a simplistic view. You mentioned budget deficit. In 2008, my question was budget deficit.
Yeah, that government has shown that it always overruns.
Yes.
So let
me just do with it in one minute from 2012.
How can we hold government to its word and say you're going to stick to a more prudent financial discipline?
I remember the president's first policy statement. The president stated categorically
before he contested 2012.
No. You know, after the demise of May his
the last 3 months before 2012.
The last month in the policy address, he categorically mentioned that he was going to handle and stifle.
Then he was a caretaker president.
He was, and then you remember from September to December, right? From September to December, we spent 8.7 billion Ghana cedis. And in 2013 March, the president said,
Are we so dependent on revenues from oil? And so perhaps because we've been deficient in investing in the other sectors, as he seems to be postulating, now we're in difficulty.
I think when I started my submission, I did say that this economy, even though the economy is well diverse, the Ghanaian economy is still pretty much a commodity-dependent economy.
Good.
I did say that from the beginning.
So it's not because we're having oil fall prices, but also because we're being affected by the fall in the prices of our main commodities.
You do make predictions, and then sometimes, you can get 2 or 3 economists in a room, and they can give you 3 different predictions, and they probably went to the same school. So you make these predictions, sometimes you don't get it right. We got the oil prediction or assumption in the budget wrong, obviously. And that is what has resulted into the situation that we are in at the moment.
How much did we project that will earn from oil?
Well, I'm not. I wouldn't give you the figure, but what I will give you is that we predicted that the price will be around 99. So if you work out,
so it was a benchmark for us.
Yes, and then the prices, fell as a result of the shale, oil in the U.S. and as a result of OPEC not prepared to cut their prices. But I think over the last 2 years we've done a number of things which probably has never been done in this country before. We've had the challenges that my brother is saying that is crisis. You see, as a country, and for the last 50 years or so, we have done things the same way, thinking that we will get a different result. Things have snowballed over the years, and this is by different shades of government, and that has got us where we are today. Unfortunately, the current government is now sitting with the snow, and basically we need to put the brakes on and make sure that we don't go over the cliff. It's when you are beyond the cliff. My brother, to have a crisis country, and I can show you a lot of crisis country, where salaries have not been paid in the last 6 months in the sub-region. So Ghana is not a hopeless case, and I don't think that we should be talking,
Now going forward, the finance minister is expected. We're expecting the finance minister to be in Parliament by April. Is that it? Wouldn't you have been on recess? You're a member of Parliament. Yeah. Wouldn't you have been on recess by then?
Yes, but I mean,
you can be recalled.
Parliament can be recalled. I mean,
do you think the finance minister is going to address the current crisis that we're having in the job market, where companies now are laying off hundreds of their staff? Perhaps maybe the reports we're getting in the media are wrong, but consistently there's worrying for a lot more families.
Well, obviously, with the energy situation that we have at the moment, it is impacting companies and factories and quite a lot. And I think we are first to admit that. And in His Excellency's address to the state, he did say that he wants to solve the problem once and for all. Again, this is not something that just happened. It's as a result of, as a country, and again by different shades of government, we have not added what should be added as we experience population growth and as we experience an expanding economy. So we need to get that right. First of all, we need to fix the short-term, problem that we have, and that is to stabilize the energy situation and make sure that we put in the necessary investment and the planning so we don't get to this situation again. This has been happening, it happened in the 90s, it happened in the 2000s, that is Rawlings, it happened under Kufuor, and it's happening under President Mahama. And I think that is about time that we sort of stop the blame game and put our shoulders to the wheel and really solve the situation. It is not that we can never, as a country, become a manufacturing economy or industrialize without energy. So that is the first.
So nonetheless, the job cuts are normal. We should just embrace them.
We shouldn't embrace.
Those are the exigencies of the times. Well, the repercussions, you say.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying, that we need to immediately, and that is what the president is doing now, or the new power minister is doing now, is to stabilize the energy situation. I mean, for me, it is not about managing it. It's not about coming up with a timetable as to when Nana is going to get light and I'm not going to get it, or I'm getting Nana is getting it. It has become, electricity has become a basic necessity, and we have to make sure that we.
So immediately, nothing can be done about the job cuts. Well, you can't save the industries in any way.
Well, if the industry is not getting the energy that it needs to produce, then there has to be an alternative. If we're able to put in an alternative and put it quickly, then probably we'll be able to, save some jobs.
Many will say by your responses, they will agree with Nana Boakye that we're in a crisis situation.
No, you see,
with the energy situation, we are in crisis.
Okay.
That I have, but you cannot generalize the whole economy and say this is not a crisis.
It's a challenge.
It's not a crisis.
What is it? It's a challenge.
But it's a challenge.
Okay. With the greatest of respect, don't try to brush all governments with your black brush. No, I'm talking about honorable. You see, when you tell me that it's all been the same and this man, what are you doing now? And I have problems with that. I'm coming, honorable, please, I beg you. Yeah. You see, for 3 years we've been in this. Indeed, it happened. August 2006 to September 2007. right? We had it. But they were short-term measures. From 2012, what were the short measures? We are suffering 2012. You see, the last time
we have to wrap up our time.
Multimedia.
9 o'clock.
I'm told you spent close to 100,000.
Okay, you are wrapping us fast.
It is bad. So what I'm saying is
Nana Boakye is a member of the MPP's communication team. I love the way you respond to questions. I would want to have you back into the studio, and I hope you avail your time. And Kweku Ricketts Hagan is an honourable member of Parliament for Cape Coast South, but also a Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry. Thanks for joining me, sir. Yes. I hope to have you again. Please, next time, come early for me, sir. Please. And you too, Nana Boakye. We're taking a wrap on this very program for the morning, but please make sure that you join us same time from Monday. Bye-bye.